and welcome back to the City channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And we look back at the Leicester City 0 Manchester City 1 game on our talking point show. We look at the match stats and facts on it. A little bit of a summing up of the game. Of course, it took place on the 29th of October, 12:30 p.m. Yeah, we've never been great at early kickoffs, have we? But we just about did enough, didn't we, in this one? And of course, match day 12, season 22-23, part 1, as we come to the last couple of weeks, really, isn't it? 2 or 3 weeks now till it all finishes and we get ready for part 2. So please join me as we look back at this 1-0 victory. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. I try and do everything City, past, present and forever, of course. So it'd be great to have you on board, spread the word, and all your comments are very, very welcome on this game or anything to do with City. It'd be great to hear from you. And please, give us a little thumbs up as well. Make an old City fan very, very happy. Yes, so let's have a look at the team. Interesting team, wasn't it? 6 changes to Dortmund. I do worry, I said with the Dortmund game, as soon as we start making more than 5 changes, we look a bit dubious whether we're playing a weaker team or a stronger team. And yeah, the fact that we perhaps played an okay team against Dortmund. Yeah, 6 changes did seem a lot to me. But when it comes to the 11, I got 9 of them, so I was reasonably happy with it. I was surprised Alvarez played. I think Pep put himself in a bit of a corner with Alvarez defending him. I think he had to sort of play him because of how he'd been building him up. And no offence, I've nothing against Alvarez at all. I think he will come good as a player, but he's been struggling a little bit with his bit part performances, apart from that, was it a couple of goals a few games ago. So I was very surprised. I would have preferred to see Foden start this game. So anyway, I got the 9. The defence, you could have permed any 3 or 4 from 5 or 6, couldn't you, in defence? So I wasn't too worried about the fact that I got I didn't have a Kanji, which I'm more than happy for a Kanji to play it. I just wondered how Pep would play it. So the 11 was Ederson, Stones, Akanji, Cancelo, Laporte, Rodrigo, Gundo, Grealish, KDB, Silva and Alvarez. And on the bench, Ortega, Carson, Diaz, Aki, Gomez, Mahrez, Foden, Lewis and Wilson Esbrand. Interesting bench that with the Sevilla game coming up. We'll mention that before we go later. The referee, of course, is Robert Jones, who I thought was absolutely awful. Blew up stuff that he shouldn't have been blowing up for and give things that he shouldn't have been giving. I thought it was a little bit on Leicester's side. I just thought it was a very poor referee overall. VAR was Chris Kavanagh. Not too much involvement, I don't think, yesterday on that. I've not watched it back. I can't remember anything in the ground causing too many problems. And yes, on to the match report. Yeah, cagey start, wasn't it? So it was a cagey start by both. We could see how Leicester were going to play with 10 at the back this time. So it was just a matter of being patient, wasn't it, as far as City was concerned. And 12 minutes, at least Rodri works the keeper from a KDB floater into the box, but it's fine. He get away with that one. 15 minutes, Alvarez is fed through by KDB, but his shot is saved. But the flag goes up anyway, so I'm not too sure whether it was offside or not, but a good save from the goalkeeper. 17 minutes, yeah, KDB does his Haaland impression with an aerial, splits in the air and manages to get the ball back to Bernardo. It was about 12 yards out at an angle, something like that. And his shot hit the target, that's all we can ask. But a good save by Ward to keep that one out. 24 minutes. At last, Leicester got a bit of a nosebleed, actually, because they actually came into our half, probably for the first time in the half, after 24 minutes, as Barnes brings out a sort of good, okay save from Ederson. He sort of got a big hand to it. He had to go down to his left, and he got an hand to it, and the ball ended up going for a corner on the other side. But, yeah, at least Ederson was aware of what was going on. He didn't get beat at the far post or the near post, which is a bonus, isn't it? 28 minutes, yeah, a KDB effort straight at Ward, at the keeper Ward. And that was it, really. Not too well. It was a pretty dire first half. We just couldn't get through the back line of 10 defenders, well, a goalkeeper and 10 defenders, yeah, 11. I mean, obviously, poor Vardy was asked to be, I don't know what role he was playing, but I certainly didn't get much joy because there was nothing. They didn't offer anything at all going forward for most of that first half. Into the second half, yeah, and a bit of a kick up the backside, perhaps a bit of tweaking the tactics by City. We did look live. I know it was early days. I mean, 46 minutes, a little break, and a KDB through ball. It's just a smidgen too heavy for Bernardo. He almost looks as he's going to run on perfectly to it, and from there, I would have thought he'd score, but just a little bit too hard. But he sort of had to bring it back in, as Bernardo's quite capable of doing. And Rodri was zooming up, and we thought we were going to get a Rodri's rocket, but it's more of a fizzer, wasn't it, unfortunately? And it just went wide of the far post. That was our end where the City fans were. And then, of course, 48 minutes, Grealish. You haven't been having a great game, but the thing is with Grealish and Bernardo, to some extent, once they picked the ball up, I mean, there were, at least a couple of players on them. They would find it very hard to get into any sort of space and create space, because there's no real pace to the game as far as City, because Leicester were defending so deeply. But at least he managed to win a free kick about 25 yards from goal. And would we have broached the Leicester wall without it? Probably not, based on it could have easily been a 0-0 this one, but a KDB piece of sorcery, of course, as his shot went over the wall and in off the post. Yeah, I've seen those hit that sort of post angle and come out, but fortunately it nestled nicely into the back, didn't it? So superb. 1-0. Certainly not game over, because it did obviously sting Leicester into a little bit of action, which, let's face it, it needed for them to actually do something now. So obviously, Mr. Ward was nowhere near that goal, was he? Can't blame him. Yeah, the wall was covering that side of the goal. There's no way any keeper's getting over to that. So fantastic from KDB. 53 minutes, almost an equaliser. Yeah, there's a floated corner, sort of City-esque, where we scored from a corner recently. Have we lost our free kick specialist or whatever, or dead kick specialist? Because we don't seem to look as though we're going to ever score from a corner at the moment. Absolutely useless. But they sort of took a look of that sort of page out of our book list and floated it to the back, of course. And it was met by Tielemans superbly, wasn't it? And I thought probably Ederson saw it late. Fortunately, it was only a foot or two to one of his sides, and he reacted quickly and managed to palm it onto the bar. And I think a Leicester player, it might have been Ian Atcho, had come on, managed to head it goalwards, but obviously Ederson collected it fine. So that was 53 minutes, and it was a bit quiet. Yeah, say that it didn't sting Leicester into too much action. Ian Atcho was on as a sub, and he had a chance, but his effort was reminding me of that one he did against us when Company had scored that 1-0, where he sort of looked, it was easy to get on target, but he managed to put it about 3 yards wide. So, but I say, he'd not been on the pitch long, so I suppose we can forgive agent Ian Atcho, can't we, for that one? So that went wide of Ederson's post. That was a half chance. 86 minutes, as I say, Leicester were now obviously seeing we weren't able to get a second one, so they were putting more pressure on us. And we saw a Daka header go straight at Ederson. 88 minutes, an error by Laporte. Yeah, we did get a bit jittery that last few minutes, but Ederson managed to save simply from another Iniacho effort. 92 minutes, almost the ultimate, wasn't it? Also, almost the ultimate jokey, sucker City, typical City punch, wasn't it? As Tielemans whips in across, and Stones was trying to head it clear, but all it succeeded in doing was smashing against Diaz's face and just rebounded wide of the post with Ederson scrambling. So that City of old perhaps would have gone in. Perhaps we make our own look in a positive way these days. So we survived. We won 1-0. Far from convincing in the end, but hey, that's how you do it. Match stats, shots 10 for Leicester. I think most of those must have been the second half. I don't remember having too many in the first half, I would say, apart from the one I mentioned. I mean, probably those 10 are probably 7 or 8 were in the last 20, 25 minutes or something like that. They had 5 on target. City had 15 shots, 5 on target. Possession, 65% for City. Passes, 385 for them. Leicester, 691 for us. Pass accuracy, okay for us, 90%, that's okay. 80% for Leicester. Fouls, 5 by Leicester, 10 by us. That's what I thought. Robert Jones was rubbish. I mean, there's no way we were double as dirty as they were yesterday, or, he just seemed to be keen to blow up every time we went anywhere near a Leicester player. Offsides, none for them, 2 for us. And corners, 3 for them, 10 for us. Yeah, so if you do the corner market on your old on betting, you might have got that one, but that's quite a lot of corners. XG Philosophy, which we look at my thanks to at XG Philosophy. Leicester 0.71 and City 1.19. So that'll do for me. City's man of the match, according to City, was KDB. And if you've watched my Player 80 show, please go over and watch that if you get a chance. I give it Edison on the basis that KDB had a piece of magic, amidst sometimes not quite at it. I think Edison had a piece or one or two little pieces of magic to save us. So I'm going to give it Edison just for a change because of all the stick he's been getting. So I give it Edison anyway. Just check my Player rating show. Right, decisions. Obviously, we've got Sevilla coming up, which is, let's face it, it's a dead rubber, isn't it? I mean, I think Sevilla are guaranteed third spot anyway, so there's not much on it in it for them. So I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if they play a strong team. So I think City won't play a strong team, and 6 changes could be even more for this one. As I say, I'm not happy with it. It's not usually how Pep does things. He usually still plays a strong side. But if you look at the subs on the bench for this Leicester game, Ortega definitely, Carson playing up front, Diaz possibly. Aki definitely, Gomez definitely. Did he have one suspension? Gomez, I'll have to check that, guys. But if Gomez is available for Sevilla, I think he'll play. If he's not, then he won't. Mahrez definitely. Foden possibly. He got a bit of time in this one, didn't he? Lewis and Wilson Esbrand. So why not? Why not stick the old bench on for this Sevilla game and even have, as I said, have Carson playing up top or something? I know it's not going to happen, but yeah. So there's absolutely no reason why that bench for the Leicester game won't get a game against Sevilla, I don't think. Let me know what you think on that, guys. Just to sum up this game, a bit of a rest, as I say. We'll rest players. Hopefully, Ireland will get an extra rest and be fine by the time the Fulham comes around at the weekend. So he certainly won't be anywhere near the Sevilla game. Very hard game against Leicester. We got 3 points. No one was really outstanding. Just a little bit of KD magic for the goal. Despite a late Leicester rally, their football was pretty turgid, wasn't it, for at least 2/3 of the game. I mean, Brendan Rodgers missed us trick here. I mean, the fans didn't expect them to get much, the Leicester fans. Brendan Rodgers was trying and keep it tight and hopefully nick a goal. I mean, they obviously nearly nicked a goal to get a draw, but, it's okay to show respect. But sometimes, perhaps he's not been watching City away from home. He could have been a lot braver. I thought it was a bit cowardly in this game. And it's okay. I like him showing respect because that gives us a chance. But I think he missed the trick here yesterday. I don't think we were quite at it again. We might have improved if Leicester had been a bit more forthcoming early doors. But yeah, I mean, but for a moment of KDB magic, this was going to be a depressing 0-0. I thought because we just didn't have the ability to break down those mass ranks. Perhaps if Leicester had played a bit more openly. But I think defensively we struggled a bit. Certainly that last 20-25 minutes when we should be calm, we struggled just a little bit. So I just thought on the day, I think we're looking getting through to this World Cup and we're not quite as efficient and brilliant as perhaps we should be. But we're winning games, so that's fine. But I think Brendan Rodgers cocked up and all good. I'm glad he did. I thought he might have got something if Brendan Rodgers had been a little bit braver. As I say, he had 35, 40 minutes to bring something back once they had a goal down. And they did have little moments, but it was only the last sort of 15, 20 minutes when they sort of threw everything at us. So I think they missed a trick, but we don't care, do we? Because we got the points, and that's why we're champions, isn't it? We didn't play particularly well, and we won the game, and that's all there is to it. So please, as I said, check out my player ratings show. Of course, there'll be the odds show and the preview show for the upcoming Sevilla game. So let's see what my team will be. It'll be a very interesting team this week. Listen in, see what you think, see what your team's going to be Wednesday night, isn't it? So I'll be there, and join me for the preview and the odds show. Thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.